Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, good afternoon, good Sabbath, good Lent. Am I missing Ramadan? Uh, um, and
Wasn't it just what's the fun Jewish
Purim
holiday?
just ended.
It was
That
just
is a
Purim. Yeah.
very interesting holiday. Um, Nothing that has to do with death and dying, mostly always having to do with war, you know. So
Yep.
we'll talk about that some other time.
And
But
happy birthday to my only granddaughter. I've got all the boys, but it is Riley Rose's birthday. She is number 4 today. Yesterday,
that's
but she's
so
4.
beautiful.
Mhm.
The popular food at this time with Purim is hamantaschen. And so to some people, I have been sending pictures of ugly hamantaschen. And then also, Steve Altman sent me pictures beforehand of all of his hamantaschen. Steve is part of our group for
Our
our
community.
audience, and he said he will be baking gluten-free hamantaschen. I hope he saves you two.
I am waiting for his St. Patrick's Day party. I'm holding out for the corned beef and cabbage.
Oh, yum.
Right.
Serious yum.
My friend Yael is currently in Israel, and they were baking hamantaschen in between running to the bomb shelter. So she was
And
posting pictures of her hamantaschen that they were baking in between run.
my friend who lives in Tel Aviv, also a humorist and stand-up comic, Lenny Ravitch, and he and his family were celebrating Purim, of course, in the bomb shelters. And
Right.
there's the clackers, there's the, we won kind of stuff. That's Purim. So, I also have right around the corner. I should have brought it. It is, according to the Jewish calendar, my mom's yahrzeit. She died on March 13th, and it goes along, and it was always Erev Purim. So I bought some yahrzeit candles, and I thought maybe I should show our listening audience.
I think you should.
So I'm going to get up for just a second,
Yes.
and you keep talking.
You're wearing pants, right?
What?
You are wearing pants, right? Before you're going to get up and crawl across the floor.
You'll find out.
This is the joy of when you work telehealth. You have to make sure you got the regular pants on, right? Yeah, this is quite a month. It's also the birthday month of my first late wife. Linda was born on March 14th and her brother on March 13th, and they're both gone now. So we remember them in March as well.
There you go. So I know people, we talk about yahrzeit candles, and like memorial candles you see in a lot of Catholic stores, right?
Right, and cemeteries.
And cemeteries, they have maybe angels, or they have Saint Michael, or they have this or Mary, and they're very tall. These are made to burn 24 hours, and you light them, and I know it's backwards, but
that is a very compact little candle.
Yeah, it's about 3 inches tall, and they look like little juice glasses. And back in the day, they used to save the glasses and use them. That's what you had juice out of. So you say, you light the candle, and you say different yahrzeit prayers, and it talks about honoring your parents, the prayer, and in memory of, and we hold their memory and honor and things like that. So
I love the fact that there is so much ritual built into memorials in the Jewish faith, and it's
mhm,
something that all of us could and should borrow from in
mhm.
terms of making sure that we honor those anniversaries and honor the loss for more than one day and all the things that go along with the rituals and the writings that are accompanying loss in the Jewish faith.
And there's different levels. I think I sent you uh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I was surprised I hadn't heard of that. Like this very devout more Orthodox Jewish family visited their the headstone, the grave of like a grandfather,
Right,
and I was surprised. So they wear what's called tallis, and the
right.
tallis is a prayer shawl, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's threads at the end of the tallis, and the threads were hanging out, and the
As they're
mother
supposed to.
explained to the little
Mm-hmm.
boy that you hide the threads. You have to tuck it in because the dead uh, don't want to see you mourning. They want you to. It was something like that, and you hide them so they don't see the threads of mourning or something like
So
that.
those are supposed to be tucked in at the cemetery as
Yeah,
opposed to when you're out in public. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and then if you ever go to military or wherever cemetery and you see they put rocks on top
Right.
of the headstones.
Right.
And yeah,
To signify that you've been there. I do that for my nephews and my sister when
yeah.
I visit for my parents. And I love a lot of the Jewish things. I wish I like having fresh flowers, and
Hmm.
I like the celebratory, the celebrating the life as well as mourning the loss process, and that part
Hmm.
is not so much present in the Jewish death
Right.
rituals. So I guess I'm sort of hybridized. And then we should have some humor too, and so that should come in from the other side, and you know
Did
do
I?
it do it your way, but I also think it's really important to honor the loss.
So on the yard site of my mother's first, um, from the burial. So I think in some Jewish cultures, it's like 11 months and 1 day short of a year, something like that, or 11 months and a day. I don't remember. But I thought how there was a snowstorm and they didn't even want us there, right? Because you couldn't really see the headstones because they're flat
Right.
mostly from the road. But my girlfriend spoke up and said, it's her first yard site and she's going, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't find, it's like the row is Rose number 17. I don't remember, but we got in. Of course, my mother loved Daryl best, and he found it, right? So we had our car, there was a snowstorm, so he brushed off. We had the car brush, a windshield brush, and he brushed it off. And for my dad, something that we always did together when I was younger was build snowmen. So on his grave, I made a snowman. On my mother's grave, because we shared a love of candy, especially the I'm not making this up, rejects from the Jelly Belly factory, which was,
Oh yeah, they have seconds.
yes, that's right. And so I made like a snow cake. And then I had jelly beans with me and I decorated it and I took pictures of that. And that was the first yard site. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So that sort of brought the humor part to that and lightened the mode. that's not traditional. And then I didn't have any rocks. You couldn't see any. So I put jelly bellies on.
Then those would melt in color, and I love that.
It was just great. And then
Mhm.
that will go back into the earth. So
Mhm.
around this time of year, and actually Mom died on the 13th, and my dad died on the 28th, I think. Yeah. And I will light somewhere in the middle
A
2 years
memorial for them.
candles, and I set up pictures and things like that. So
I like that. This is also the time of year for ADEC, the Association for
yes,
Death Education and Counseling, and those folks are gathered in Maryland this year.
yes.
So hello to our crew there, and should we talk a little bit about one of the ADEC
Yes.
board members and presenters, and one of their lifeblood is Jill Harrington, and Deb and I both send out our deepest condolence isn't even a word on the loss of her much beloved son.
Tragedy.
Um,
Another.
Alex, who was just an amazing young man and was asking for help from law enforcement and instead died at their hands. Alex was on the board of Hospice of America. He spoke at Comic-Con. He spoke at ADEC.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unfathomable
I
kind
know.
of a moment in the middle of us having also gone to war this week.
Yes.
It doesn't. So our thoughts are with everyone at ADEC who is coping with this and with all of the family of Alex.
Right. I just saw on Facebook from a friend of mine, Christina Berger, and she sings a lot on Sundays at different churches, and it saddened her that enough people didn't talk about the Iranian people that
Right.
are hurting. I mean, they didn't ask for war either, right? It's, governments and regime. It's, yeah.
They are as powerless in the face of a regime as many of us feel, as folks felt in Brazil, as folks feel in Turkey and Russia,
uh,
all the places. Yeah.
And even in Italy, I know someone that Ian introduced me to when we were in Ian. She's the one who had the parrot that was all over, and it was just great, and a lot of dogs and some really adorable cats. Anyway, she got on, and I hit the translation button, and really, she lives, a block down from Ian, and she wrote, "No war. We don't want our government getting involved. We don't want to be part of this." But anyway, I digress. The bottom line is, my friend said she was disappointed that people weren't acknowledging what was happening, the losses the Iranian people were feeling. So
over 1,000 of them.
I shared at our house of worship that we sing the song. It's a song of peace, and it's to the tune of Finlandia. And it talks about how we all view our place, the bluer skies. We have the best blue skies. Every place has the best blue skies, and to show our commonalities.
Right. And every nation has its, like, God's country or Allah's country or whatever, that big open spaces. Yeah. We did not talk that much about it in our church this Sunday because on Friday we lost our minister's husband, Pastor Kristen, who was supposed to be a guest on our show and got caught up with his illness. He very unexpectedly passed away.
Right.
Not from cancer, but from the illnesses that are secondary to cancer. And yeah, it feels kind of like this has been. I was with our students on Wednesday night and just It was head spinning how many had been absorbing losses for clients this week, as
Yes.
well as the impact of the war, all of the folks who have family members who are serving abroad and are
Mhm,
now
mhm.
in fear more than
Oh,
usual.
I mean, they're warning kids if a recruiter promises you a hat, a mug, or whatever, don't
Run.
do it. Don't.
Right. And there's the and then the continuing issues, of course, with Homeland Security. So we've got it's been an actual head spinning kind of a
Yes, it has.
ongoing loss and chaos experience for so many people. And I sit with them at the beginning of our group supervision, and like, we need to be able to recenter ourselves too, because the folks who are doing the care are also absorbing
Mm-hmm.
all of this, except for
And
Zorro. He's just hanging out.
now he wants one thing, two things: being held and petted 100% of the time, and then food.
And food. Yeah.
That's it. That's all that Zorro wants.
Right.
We have been gone so much with different types of caretaking situations.
You have.
And so much. Our cat sits at the door when we come in. And, you know, if our cat could speak English, she says, "Get on the couch. I want my time. You haven't been here. I haven't cuddled with you." And,
Right.
you know, which sort of leads me to self-care. A really close friend of mine sat vigil. This was within a 2-week period. Sat
Mm-hmm.
vigil while her friend was on life support, and they were deciding could she be a
Right.
donor or not. And then the following week, my friend lost her 15-year job.
Oh my goodness.
And so, you know, there's a type of, and this is real common. And then I'm gonna jump in with one more part. You know, she just, I don't want to be with anybody right now, and totally understand. And she could speak her need of that, and she just wanted to be with her husband. She just wanted to somewhat process this. And then her blood pressure has been going up, this, that, and she got some sleep aids. She took one of the sleep aids, and she said the next day what she hated about, she got some sleep, but she cried the whole night, and then she sobbed uncontrollably the next day. And I said, "I know that was uncomfortable for you. I'm really glad that happened, because your physical body can only hold so much." And
Yes.
then she did that again, and we talked about it. And when you let go of holding on to control and protection so you don't feel vulnerable, and I felt very bad because of a lot of stuff that was going on with me and my family,
Mm-hmm.
bio family, non-bio family.
Right.
And I've been, Daryl and I both have been taking care and working with, and da da da
You've
da.
been overwhelmed by all of that.
And my friend from Japan came, so Daryl and I sort of split things. You froze again. Did I freeze or did you freeze? Oh, there you are.
I'm not foes. I
Okay,
hear.
good. So another friend I was, you know, that I love dearly and is going to be visiting, she wanted to talk about, and just even having one more thing to talk about or plan, I just said, I can't put anything else in my brain. I
Right.
really can't. And I know it's important to her to make plans. And I felt really bad. She goes, "I'm glad you're setting boundary lines." I mean, she had her agenda she needed to take care of, but it's real common when there's a whole bunch of losses coming at you at once, you can't process them, synthesize them, absorb them, integrate them, whatever it is that overwhelms.
Surf from loss to loss. Hopefully you acknowledge it as it's happening, deal with what you can, go to the next one.
That's what's been happening with
and then
Jill
they
and
collect,
I.
and then at some point you take a downtime, hopefully.
And so when my friend from Japan offered for the third time to take a train so I didn't have to drive him 3 up and back 3 hours, I took him up on it.
Yes.
Just to create some breathing space. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I put in a book suggestion. I don't know if you can see it, Deb. It's a book called Self-Compassion. It's by a woman named Kristen Neff. I do not know her. She's a PhD in psych. I've used it with a few of my clients recently. It's got activities that are really good for letting the second guessing go. And the second guessing is so common with coping with grief and coping with loss.
Yes.
What did I do? It's just a really excellent book. And it comes in a spiral bound version if you are willing to pay more for it, so that you can use it in groups.
I should, well, after the show, I'll say, okay, let me, I just think that's great for everybody that is going through, because one, I know, and I felt so bad. I felt like I really made her angry, and maybe I did. I don't know. We'll talk. But, I had to, and I was second guessing. I could not put one more thing in, and neither could my friend when she fell apart the other day because of what she's doing. And we're the ones that uphold a lot of people, right? Because we know the ropes. And when it happens to us, whatever happens to somebody else, it also happens to us.
And sometimes we go into that mode where we do all the taking care of and the recommendations. I saw Jill sending out information about how autistic people handle grief, right? Which she's caring for that community while she's grieving the loss of her much beloved son. But there's also that moment where we have to say, stop. I need to pull in. I need to find my center. I need to go sit with my faith, or go sit in the sun, or whatever it is, pet the dog.
Right. And, and a lot of us, and I'm going to include you too, we learn these skills when we're little.
Right.
And you forget that you learned these skills when you were little, and nobody talks about them. No. So
nobody talks about how to especially sudden loss. Whether it's sudden loss of a job, which is happening a lot across the U.S. right now.
Yes.
Or it's sudden loss of a person in a tragedy, or our military families who are having sudden losses of their beloved members who are in line of fire and don't make it home and need their losses marked and honored. And I hope if you are in one of those communities and you see that procession coming, you will pull over and show that family that their loss counts as well.
Right.
Or send a card or something. But we aren't taught how to handle sudden loss so much as expected losses for the most part, if loss is talked about at all as kids. Right?
So, exactly. And even if it is talked about as kids, and both Jill and I have children's books out that talk about loss, and we come at it from just different perspectives, because there's a million perspectives, right?
There's no right or wrong other than you talk about it.
Exactly.
You talk about it. Even if you have a child who has special needs, you still talk about it. When my grandchildren lost their bunnies, which Grandma might have said we shouldn't have bunnies, but that's neither here nor there. We buried them in our front yard, and then we'd go out and talk to them at their little bunny graves because they needed to know that you can have those continuing conversations after a loss, even as small children. They still talk about that.
So my daughter talks about this. I, of course, have my own perspective. So her gerbil died. I forget the name of the gerbil. And Daryl had just taken some fences out, so we had great hole.
You had a perfect gerbil burial.
We had a perfect. And Kate says, "Oh, the gerbil was at her dad's house, so she brought him over wrapped up."
The dead gerbil came home.
The dead gerbil came to the Hart Cemetery in the backyard, and she just sort of hands it to me. I admit I did not say this, but yuck was like, so she hands me the gerbil and she says, "Mom, will you do a funeral for," like, she's 7. She already knows what funerals are.
You got to have a funeral.
You got to have a funeral. And I said, "Yes, we will say prayers for it." And the gerbil went down the hole.
And you say the prayers.
And you say a prayer, and you put some flowers or whatever on it. And it reminded me of a grandson. He goes, and the difference between the grandparents. So apparently they had a mouse in the house who died. And he says, "Well, the dead mouse is," and he says, "it's next to the garage. We're having a funeral." And I said, "Oh, can I see?" Right? And it was really sweet. I mean, I don't know that he's been to funerals. Maybe he has. He was like 7 at the time, same as Kate back then. And he had rocks, and he had taken some dandelions and put them around, or little violets. I don't remember. And I said, "Would you like me to say a prayer?" And so he said, "Yes, because prayers are said at funerals. Blah, blah, blah. Say the little, 'You've been a great mouse. May your memory be a blessing.' Blah, blah, blah." Right? So now he also has something to show all the other grandkids when they show up for the party. "Hey, do you want to see the dead mouse?" And the other grandma, on the other hand, says her yuck out loud.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's okay. I did my part. And yeah.
Well, the Pope just came out and said animals go to heaven.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I was very pleased to hear that. So
Yes.
that settles that for a good portion of the world.
Yes,
And
that's very good.
I'm glad he joins us in the Rainbow Bridge connection, because that's important. Right?
Right.
I feel bad. We sold our old house, and there were several cemeteries there because we are that family.
Yes.
So I've been watching from afar, and so far nobody's done any digging in the cemeteries. And when we moved into this house, the folks who lived here when I grew up said, "Now remember, polar bear's buried at the bottom of the hill. I can show you where he is." Okay, so now we know where the Grannon family cemetery is. Everyone's got their, and they just came out on Live Science. Good morning, Mary. Nice to see you. The Live Science folks just found there was another dig where there was a Neanderthal and early human, some kind of human life form, who were apparently together, and they were buried together, and there were flowers. There were remains of pollen in the grave. So even when we were Neanderthals,
yes, Neanderthal,
we had funerals and we had memorials and we did flowers.
Right.
And I think that's really important. We need to to mark the losses and also and support those who are in the grief. And right now there's a lot going on, so let's find some ways to find some humor and to take care of ourselves.
Take care. And there's another podcast I want to tell you about.
Okay.
My phone is over there to not create a distraction over here. I will put it on our page.
Okay.
It is by Paul Osenkup, who is a speaker, a world-renowned speaker, as well as a stand-up comic, and he humor and death, humor and grief, another one. So I asked to be on his, and I'm going to invite him to ours.
Because we do need to have, please do. It's even in loss, we need to have our humor. That's what keeps our hearts healthier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps us going. That's what lets us see some of the other stuff going on in the world. You still get to isolate if you need to a little bit, but just not all the time. It's possible to do both.
It is. Wait. And that is standard with improv. Yes.
And Steve likes him, so Steve knows him.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway,
right.
I will put his stuff. I will share it to here, and there you go.
And we'll be back on Friday the 13th. It's Deb's favorite day.
One of my many. Hey,
one of many.
Any day above ground is a good day.
A good day. That's exactly right. So go have an above ground day. Go look at the flowers or the snow.
It's warm here. Go take a walk. Go outside. I shut off the heat. I opened up some windows. I'm going to open up some more windows.
Pet the dog. Pet the cat.
Yes.
Pet a flower. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.